Hello, my friends. Welcome to this, our final children's Bible story by request. It's number 12 of 12. I'm Pastor Mark of Clinton Avenue Reformed Church, Bergenfield, New Jersey. And I'm glad you're here watching this. What's the topic of today? The topic of today is the end of the world. Now, a lot of people spend a lot of time worrying. When's the world going to end? When's the world going to end? Do you know 1,000 years ago, actually more than 1,000 years ago, in the year 1000, the Pope thought that the world was going to end. And Christian churches all across the world gathered together in the year 1000, New Year's Eve, nice New Year's Eve party, because they knew at the stroke of midnight, Jesus would return, the world would end, and the faithful would be in heaven. Didn't happen. But you see, they thought that because the book of Revelation, which is a Bible book, says that Jesus is going to be on earth after there's 1,000 years, that's where the 1,000 comes from, of all kinds of difficulties on earth. Here, I'll show you. Here's a classic work of art from the 1800s. There are 4 horsemen that are supposed to be coming when the world ends. Okay, here is the first one on the left. That's death. And there's famine. There's war. There's conquest. And people try to look at the times they live in and say, wow, there's death, there's famine, there's war, there's conquest. The world must be ending soon. Well, people have been saying that for 2,000 plus years now. This is about 2,000 years ago that Jesus ascended to heaven. And we've always had death, and we've always had famines and wars and conquests. But the world hasn't ended yet. The world will end when God says it will end. You know, we have problems now in the Middle East. Remember, what, a month or so ago? It's probably closer to 6 weeks now. Israel got attacked by Hamas from Gaza. And a number of people came to me and said, oh, that's a sign the world's going to be ending soon. When I was in high school in 1973, a lot of nations attacked Israel then, and people said, the world's ending. It didn't. When I was in grammar school in 1967, there was a big 6-day war against Israel. And people said, the world's ending. It didn't. Well, remember, there's the plagues. There's those plagues of illness and famine. A lot of people on earth now have bad diseases and bad famines. Remember how bad it was a few years ago when COVID was running around? We were all really, really frightened. And some of us lost some really close friends to that illness. There were 5 people I knew who died from it. You know, a number of people came to me and said, don't you think the world is ending now? No. The world will end when God says it will end. Every era of history, there are diseases, there's famine, there's warfare. The world could end today. The world could end 2 trillion years from now. I have no idea when that's going to happen. But I've got a question. Why do you care when the world ends? If you knew the world was going to end today, what would you do? I would try to do what Jesus wants me to do. I would try to introduce Jesus to others and love people to the best of my ability. And if I knew that Jesus was going to end the world next year, what would I spend the next year on? Well, doing what Jesus told me to do, introducing him to others, loving others to the best of my ability. Doesn't matter when the world's going to end. No matter when it is, it's our job to do what Jesus told us to do. Let's get working on it. It's possible we might see the world end, but I think chances are we're going to physically die before the world does. And when I die and meet Jesus face to face, I want to be able to say with sincerity, Jesus, I tried to do what you told me to do. I tried to do it to the best of my ability. Please forgive the times I failed. See, it's not a matter of when the world's going to end. It's a matter of, do we do what Jesus told us to do each and every day of our lives? Because I don't want to be embarrassed when I meet Jesus. I don't want him to look at me and say, excuse me, what were you doing all those years on earth? You weren't doing what I told you to do. I don't want to hear that. I'm going to do my best. And I hope you do also. And if someone tells you the world's ending tomorrow or the next day, just ignore them. If someone tells you we're in the end times, we're always in the end times. Every day, do what Jesus says to do and live in peace. Now, starting next week, we've got a whole new series. It's about Advent, which is the time before Christmas, and it's about Christmas. We're going to be talking about power couples. Yes, couples who had a significant thing to say at Christmas. Christmas power couples. I hope to see you all next week. Please comment, like, share this, and invite everyone you know to watch these videos. God bless you this week. From Pastor Mark at the Clinton Avenue Reformed Church, Bergenfield, New Jersey.